to not allow myself excuses. Like, it's one thing when like someone else is telling you like you can or can't do something, like a teacher or whatever, but like I feel like we make excuses to ourselves so much more and so much easier, and like it's it's almost easier to just justify things to yourself, you know what I mean? Hey. Okay, so I have no notes, no script, no plan. I was just like, I'm gonna record this today, why not? Also, I think this might be the first video where I have like my glasses with the blue light lenses and like they look crazy. Don't say anything about it. Okay? Okay. Hey. So anyways, I want to record a video before it's like before a ton of time has passed because I just finished 75 hard and it was really hard. Also I need to put my retainer in. Don't mention it. Um, but yeah, so I did 75 hard while I was studying for step one. Like during dedicated, I did 75 hard. Like I started 75 hard at the very end of January, like the last weekend, and dedicated started like 2 weeks later. Um, and 75 hard finished a week after, well, 2 weeks after dedicated finished. I think it was 2 weeks after I took my test. So anyways, it was a crazy time. And before too much time passes, I want to record this so that why does my sweatshirt look like that? So that I remember what it was like, and so that I can share with you what it was like, and hopefully encourage somebody to do 75 hard because it was crazy. But like in a good way. So yeah, like I said, I have no notes, so this might be all over the place. So if I'm just like talking in circles, sorry. Okay, where to begin? Okay, so what is 75 hard? Let's start there. First of all, I need to pull up like the exact rules because I added rules. Um, I don't know if I would recommend that, but because I had dedicated as well, I added some things to um ew, sorry. I added some things that were pertinent to what I was going through in my own life. Okay, so the rules. I feel like I have to burp again. Okay, so 75 Hard is made by this guy named like Andy Frisella, something like that. And yeah, sorry. I don't really want to get into like the background of it and why he made it and blah blah blah. Like you can look him up and learn all about it. That's not the point of this video. So the rules are 75 days. Um, Pick any diet and stick to it. No cheat meals, no alcohol. Read 10 pages from a nonfiction book. Drink a gallon of water. Take a progress picture. Two 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside. And if you miss any of those things, you have to start over from day one. So, sounds crazy, right? So now I want to talk about things that I added and the things that I modified. And I know that there's those like diehard like super fans that like if you modify anything, they're like you didn't complete it and blah 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 whatever. I think that you should not be an idiot, and if you think that certain things are not going to be healthy for you, then you shouldn't do them. And you shouldn't let people troll you on the internet and tell you that you didn't complete a challenge, okay? So anyways, so for I'll start with the modifications. The only modification that I made was the gallon of water. I am small. I'm a very small person. I am 5'3", and my metabolism is really, 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 really high. So I struggle to put weight on, so I'm very small. And so drinking a gallon of water is a lot more water than I weigh, and it just wasn't going to be a good idea. While it is incredibly rare, I did not want to become hyponatremic because of a challenge. It just didn't make any sense to me. Also, like the amount of water that I drank just to drink the first, like, I wasn't like super great about drinking water before this. And so when I started the challenge and I was doing 64 ounces, which is like what someone my size and weight, which actually was even a little bit more than someone my size and weight should be drinking, like recommended. And I was like, let me do that. That's like the standard, whatever. Um, that was my goal because, like I said, I wasn't really drinking water, and that was about all my body could handle, quite honestly. And because I wasn't drinking a lot of water, in the beginning, I was peeing every 30 minutes to an hour to the point where I like thought I had like something was really wrong with me and like I had like some kind of like urinary issue and like needed to see the doctor. Eventually my kidneys were like, oh, we get it. We're drinking water now. Okay. And it was fine. Like now it's totally fine. Every day. But yeah, I don't think for starting out, drinking a gallon was going to be a safe idea. People do die from drinking too much water. Again, like that's something that's incredibly rare, but like for someone my size, it just made no sense. So if you want to troll in the comments and say that I didn't do the challenge, I don't really care. That was a modification. Things that I added. So I wanted to get into like making my bed. It was something that I did growing up, and then I kind of just stopped doing it, I guess, as I got older. I was like, you know, like living on my own. I was like, oh, no one's ever telling me like, my God, make your bed. But anyways, this is the first time that I've ever lived in like a studio space, and so like everything is in one space, and it's fine. I like it. It's cozy. I have tons of space. However, my bed not being made just made the whole space like super gross, and like also when like the bed was not made, it just kind of like gave me the like almost like the go ahead to like leave other things a mess in my apartment. And so that was just something small that like literally it takes less than 5 minutes, and like 5 is even like super generous. Like it takes no time to make a bed. And it just like really helped me keep my space clean. And so with like making the bed, another goal of mine was just like at the end of the day to just like tidy up a bit. It didn't need to be a deep clean. I didn't need to do a deep dive, but just like if I, let me find an example because I just like cleaned everything, so everything's pretty clean right now. Okay, easy example. If I had the TV remote out or like stuff out from my, I have this like little bowl on my TV stand that have like my remote, my lighter for my candle, like whatever. There's a few things in there. But like if I had that stuff out on the table because I was watching TV, like it takes 0.5 seconds to just put that back where it belongs versus just leaving stuff everywhere. So like that was another one, just like mini goal of mine to just like straighten up. Like this is my space, like I need to take care of it. Another addition, which again, these are just things that for me, I wanted to tack these on. Okay. I wanted to just like reflect each day. Again, something that took me 5 minutes or less just while I was going through this process, because for me, I've never been able to like, until now, never like would finish challenges. I would try to start them. I always would make these goals for myself, would never like achieve them, would never complete them. Like, and like literally could not finish 30-day challenge to save my life. So I just wanted to like reflect on this and like how it was going, how I was feeling, what I was going through, like blah, blah, blah. And so I would do that each day. And I think one big thing that helped me, because this was like one, a huge undertaking, but also for someone who had never been able to complete a challenge on their own, I did this with one of my best friends, and that really helped because there were so many days where I was like, I don't want to do something at all, or like it would be like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and there was stuff that was still not checked off, and like you had to do it or you had to start over. And like having her as encouragement was like really helpful. My sister's calling me right now. She's gonna mess up my train of thought, but I want to talk to her. Okay, one second. All right, we're back. I've appropriately been a therapist. And where was I? I think I was on additions. Oh, another thing that I added was doing Anki, which if you're not in med school, it's like a software to do flashcards, and it is effective. I don't really know what else to say about it, but basically because I was doing dedicated, and like dedicated alone was just such a a feat of discipline. Of course the freaking battery is low as soon as I turn this thing on. So I had to just really be disciplined and like getting my questions done each day and like studying and like what I wanted to go over and blah blah blah. But I feel like flashcards were really helpful, and in the beginning I was only doing like 100 give or take, which is like really low. Like if you know anything about Anki, you know it's like that's really low for like a whole day. Um, but I noticed that like stuff that I was getting wrong like week after week was like not like the stuff that I was reviewing. It was just like little nitpicky things, like facts that I was forgetting. And so it was like there's no excuse when I could just be making sure that I get done my flashcards every day. So that was something that I focused on. What else did I add? And the last thing that I added was just doing my Duolingo every day. Duolingo is like not super helpful for me because I'm I would I would say pretty advanced in my Spanish. Like I grew up speaking it. Um, I went to Spanish immersion school as a kid. And this past summer, like I went to Colombia and did a full immersion like program in the hospital. And like we had to see patients like on our own and whatever. It was all in Spanish. Like I can speak Spanish. I can speak it, I can understand, I can read it, whatever. But I really want to improve on my writing and my speaking in terms of my grammar. I feel like sometimes I like don't remember all the grammar rules at this point because I haven't taken like a robust course since college. And I don't have like friends or anything that like anyone that I can just like speak to on a regular basis as I did before. So it was something that like I just want to improve on, and honestly I don't fully know if like Duolingo was like it wasn't really the way to go. But it was just like I just wanted to like make sure that I was like doing some form of Spanish each day and just kind of like keeping myself familiar with even just like basic vocab. And so now that the challenge is over, like I'm looking into more intensive things. But anyways, yeah, so the Duolingo lessons literally sometimes take me like 2 minutes. Like it's quick, but just like something to just keep myself like hearing some form of Spanish. Wow, I shook that much that I made myself blurry. Hearing some form of Spanish each day, and it was very chill. The battery died, and like now I don't think this is centered. Okay. Okay. So now that I went through my additions, which were Spanish, reflecting, making my bed, slash like just being a little more tidy, and Anki, and then my modification, which was the water. Now I just want to go through each habit and kind of just talk about how each thing individually like impacted my life. And so first of all, that was so gross. Oh my god. Um I used Habit. I don't even know what this app is called. What is this app called? It might really just be called Habit. I don't know. It's this one. Let's see if I can. It is that one there. And it just like lets you put all of the habits in. It was really helpful. I put them all in, and then I would just like check them off each day. It kept track of them. It like kept track of my streak. It was really cute. And like when I finished all of them for the day, it would be like, well done, and like a bunch of confetti. So like I don't know, this is like not sponsored. But like I remember seeing on TikTok some girl saying that like she would use this app when she did 75 hard, and it was really helpful, and like so I did too. And like you can change the colors of the habits and like whatever, it's fun, you know. And like there's notifications, blah blah blah. So let's go through each thing one by one and let's chat about it. So let's just start with the water because it's the one that's at the top of my screen right now, because after the challenge ended, like I've kept this one as like active. Okay, so like I definitely feel like it's important to drink water, duh. um I People had like big super like skin transformations and whatever, and like after like high school and like early college I didn't really have any like bad acne anymore. Like I still get pimples and stuff. I still have pimples right now. I also have sunburn right now. but a lot of it's like stress related at this point. And so also since like I was studying for dedicated, like I was still getting pimples. Like it is what it is. Um, but I will say like I feel like at least my skin was like less dry. Um, my organs definitely were working better. My kidneys were like shocked back to life, I guess. Um, so like that was nice. I also like when I finished step treated myself to a new water bottle. I had wanted an Awala for like so long, and I'm like one of those water bottle bandwagon people. Hate to say it, but I am. Um, and so I had a Stanley, like the big 40-ounce one that I've been carrying around and stuff, and it's amazing. I love it. I love the handle. I would take it to school. The only thing is, like, I walk to school, and it's a bit of a walk, and that's a really heavy water bottle to take. And also since I'm about to start my rotations and be in the hospital, like the straw was not gonna work. So this one closes, and then it's a little, it's so cute. Okay. And I also like how you can like drink it like with the straw, or if you want to throw it back, you can do that. But anyways, so I got myself a little water bottle. Um, but I literally got this like the week the challenge was ending. So like I was using my Stanley for everything, which also made like keeping track of my water easy. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in general, I guess just like I feel more healthy. Um, you know, everything's more regular, etc., etc. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't an addition. We'll get to that. Okay, so the next thing, um, I kind of talked about the Spanish already, but yeah, just to like keep myself familiar, I don't think it really was effective in terms of my personal goals with Spanish right now. Um, and I also feel like Duolingo can only get you to a certain level of like um fluency, and I've kind of maxed out my like fluency level on Duolingo, so it's just it's not great. But anyways, it was nice to just force myself to kind of be consistent with it and to hear it every day. And so yeah, right now, if you care, the new thing that I'm gonna try, because I'm really focused just on like my grammar, um, is just reading books in Spanish. And like I like to read. I want to be more diligent about reading, and so we're gonna try to read some books in Spanish. Okay, so the next thing is the outdoor workout. This is not like in any particular order. It's just like since the habits are now archived, like I'm reading the list in the order that they're in. So, outdoor workout. Prior to starting this challenge, I was not working out like at all. My workout every day was walking to school. It's a 15-minute walk. I would walk really, really fast, so sometimes it would take me 10. But like to and from school, that was it. Which is crazy for me because if you know me well, you know I used to be obsessed with lifting, like addicted, like very serious, like gym brat. And then I don't know, at some point during first year of med school, it just became so unappealing to me, and like not in any like negative way, like it just wasn't fun anymore. And I didn't enjoy it. And so when that happened, I kind of just stopped working out because it was the only thing I was doing. Like I wasn't doing cardio, like I wasn't doing anything. I was literally just lifting. And so when I stopped lifting, I kind of just didn't pick up anything else to fill it. The last time I had been a runner was when I was like on the track team in high school. That was a very long time ago at this point. Almost a decade. So like that wasn't like appealing to me. Um, but we'll get into that. It's kind of a funny full circle moment later. Um, so this whole outdoor workout thing was kind of like, what am I supposed to do with this? So I decided to become one of the girlies who goes on hot girl walks. And so every single day for 75 days, I went on a walk outside. And it was really wild. It's like really wild to think like when you say something, you're like, I did this every single day. Like that was one thing about this challenge that I didn't really like, because like for someone who was going from a like months at a time hiatus of working out, it was really, really, really hard on my body to go to doing 2 workouts a day. And in the beginning, I was doing like 2 like serious workouts every day, which also was just kind of like me throwing myself into a challenge, trying to like, you know, whatever. But like long story short, other things count for workouts. Like people say like, I guess the easiest example is yoga, which I don't practice yoga. I don't think it aligns with my Christian faith, but things like recovery, mobility exercises, things like that, um, I ended up doing a lot more of at the end, but we'll get into that. So anyways, I went on walks every day. It was helpful because I don't particularly love the place that I live, but it really helped me appreciate where I live more and just like seeing more parts of it. And I found a trail that I really like, and it just became kind of a predictable part of my day. It did suck a lot when it rained. The days that it rained, I like remember being like so grumpy, and like I would call my friend that I was doing it with and literally be like, I hate this, I want to quit, like I'm pissed, like whatever. Like I remember one day too, I went outside and it wasn't supposed to rain for like another like hour maybe. 5 minutes into my walk, is pouring. I like came back, I was soaking wet, my clothes are wet, my socks are wet. Like it was just, I was so upset. Um, but yeah, like we did it, whatever. Days that it was like crazy wind or it was super cold. And like we started this at the end of January, remember? So it was freezing for like a long time. Like full coat, like zipped up hat, gloves, like every day. So like it was hard. But I will say like it definitely put me in a place to be able to just do things that I don't want to do. Um, and be uncomfortable and know that like there's an end. I'm going to be okay. And honestly, I'll be stronger at the end of it. And I think that the biggest benefit, maybe not the biggest, I don't know, but a really big benefit to doing this challenge while I was doing dedicated was like I didn't want to do that. Like I didn't want to study for step one. It was terrible. It was awful. Like it was stressful. Like the stress was crazy. Like I didn't want to sit for 8, 10 hours a day studying. Like no one wants to do that. It's not fun. Um, but it was like because I was doing this challenge and like parts of it, like this walk outside every day in the adverse weather, like it was freezing. It was like I don't want to do this and I have to do it. I have to get it done. Like it needs to be checked off. Like it translated really, really well to studying. And I feel like this was the most disciplined I've ever been with studying. Like I didn't sit on my couch barely ever. Like I could count on one hand the amount of times that like I sat on my couch or my bed to like study. Like I sat at my desk, I went to the library, like um I just got it done. And so that was like, I wouldn't say like new, but like kind of new for me to just really be like, to not allow myself excuses. Like, it's one thing when like someone else is telling you like you can or can't do something, like a teacher or whatever, but like, I feel like we make excuses to ourselves so much more and so much easier. And like, it's, it's almost easier to just justify things to yourself. You know what I mean? So this challenge also helped me say no to my own excuses. So yeah, I love a hot girl walk. I have lately since the challenge ended, I've been recovering for the last like 3 or 4 days just because like I said, this took a really big toll on my body. Um, and as the challenge went on, like I got faster and faster at walking. And so like had like a landmark in the beginning of like where I knew it was like the halfway point I could turn around. And like within a couple weeks, like I would hit that landmark so fast. It was crazy. And by the end of it, I was like, dang, maybe I should start running. Like maybe that would be fun. And like one of the last days of the challenge, like I was at home at this point because I was getting ready to take my test soon, and like my mom goes to this like treadmill class. It's kind of like spin class but like on treadmills. um and she was like, you want to go with me? And I was like, oh, whatever. So I went and like I completed the whole class and I was like, oh, maybe I could start running, like whatever. So anyways, I'm thinking about getting into running now, back into running decades later. um but yeah, so I think that walk outside, I guess the workout outside, but like for me, I did walks. I feel like it was really impactful for me and I think it was great. I'm gonna still do walks. Definitely not every day, but I do love a good hot girl walk now. So the second workout, I I've always wanted to like get my flexibility back. I danced growing up, and sometime towards like the end of college through like now, I have gotten exponentially tighter. Like my body feels like it's giving elderly. No offense to anyone elderly, but like my body's just tight and sore often, and like so I wanted to really work on like stretching and mobility. So in the beginning I was doing like a 30-40 minute workout, and then I would do like a 5-10 minute, well, depending, like 5 to 15 minute, whatever, stretch mobility portion of my workout. um and typically for the workouts, like at first I was like lifting some and like I hated it still. um I was doing a lot of like, what is it? Like, is it Grow with Joe? I think it's Grow with Joe. Like, Zumba. Like, I was just trying to find fun things to do because it was like, who wants to work out twice a day? Like, bro, the laundry is crazy, the sweat is crazy, it's mad annoying. Um, so, and also sometimes it was like I would go on a walk like in the morning, but then I would have school and all these other things, study. So then it'd be late at night and it was like, okay, now what? And so like doing like the little cardio workouts like on YouTube were pretty good. But yeah, so anyways, a couple, I mean, maybe like a week or two in, I literally got injured. So that was like super cute. I had bursitis in my hip, which was great. It hurt very badly. And I also got, I can't think of the technical term right now, and honestly no one cares to hear that anyways. My tendons basically, like where my hamstrings are at the top, would like almost like reflexively contract. Like they hurt so bad. Like so bad if I would stretch them in any way. And I don't mean just like I'm like actively like working on stretching. I mean like getting out of my bed, like doing like anything would hurt so bad. But I was committed to the challenge. So I kind of just tried to modify things. So like for my second workout, I would do like almost like 90% mobility or like do a stretch like YouTube video or whatever. And um again, like for the trolls, if you want to be like that's not hardcore enough, that's not whatever, like whatever. For me this was like a lot, and especially like with an injury, like it makes no sense to like break my body down to the point where like after a challenge I'm like not functional. So anyways, yeah, so I think like I don't think I'll ever go back to doing 2 workouts a day. It's not for me. But I think now having that balance of just like finding some kind of exercise to do, whether it's indoors or outdoors, and then doing some kind of mobility and stretching, and really just seeing like how much you can get done in a 45-minute workout was kind of crazy. I used to go to the gym for like almost like 2 hours. Like, girl, we don't got time for that no more. We're busy. Like, ugh. So, anyways, like knowing that I have like within an hour, like I can get so much done. Um, it's kind of like motivation, hopefully, for rotations as they get started. That like there's time to work out in a day. But yeah, and like just finding things that I enjoy doing. Like, I don't want to work out and hate it, you know? Like, I just don't, and it makes me not want to do it. And yeah, so that's that. What's next? Okay, so a diet for me, what I did, I didn't want to take anything out of my diet because I don't do well with like restricting. Um, like it can easily become a slippery slope of like unhealthy for me personally. So I decided to add something that I was not doing prior to this challenge, was having fruit or vegetables every day. Um, I would quite literally eat meat and starch, like 90% of the week, straight up. So I had to have one like proper serving of fruit or vegetables every single day. And in the beginning, it was a little bit like broccoli, and like that's really childish, like I know, and like I do like broccoli. Um, but yeah, so that became interesting. I would just say like it was just good for my health. Like I like sugar, I like snacks, like I love dessert. So like it's just I have hiccups low key also. So just added some, balance and some green and other colors to my diet. And my body kind of did this weird, like I was like, I don't know, this might be TMI. I don't know if I'll put this on the internet. I really don't care about TMI like at all in like the real world, but like the internet's kind of crazy. But I was like super backed up for a while at first. Like I don't know, my body was just like, whoa, overload. We don't know what to do with this fiber. But anyways, we're good. Um, the next thing, I don't know if this was on the like rules list that I read originally, but you had to take a progress picture every day. And originally I started taking them as like, when you like take like workout fitness like progress pictures, and like make like take a picture of like your like in sports bar or whatever, like take a picture of your body and see how things are changing. I started out by doing that, and then I was like, I'm not doing this to like lose weight, gain weight, change my body in any way, shape, or form. Like this was really a challenge for me for like my mental fortitude, and just like proving to myself, one, that I can do a challenge, two, that I can do hard things, three, that like I have discipline, like just all the other things that it was about for me. Instead of taking pictures like that, I started just taking a picture of my day, of like me doing something during my day, or like something that like meant a lot to me during a day, and just kind of keeping like a photo journal of the last 75 days. And for me that was more meaningful, and it's been nice to like just see like what's been going on in my life, and like um just seeing like days that were really hard with like studying, and days that were really great, and like whatever, just it was nice. And I guess like in alignment with that, like adding the reflecting each day was just helpful to just like take a step back. And also, even on days where it was like I was like, dang, this day sucked, like literally sucked, like awful day, tears, drama, all of it. Just finding something to be grateful for, even if it's like one small thing, was really helpful. And like the apps that I was using, like one of them like tracks my mood, and I'm someone who, I'm working on this, but like I often see like glass half empty, and this is something that I'm really working on with the Lord right now. um but tracking my mood and seeing that like more than 2/3 of the days that I tracked, like I had a positive mood listed as for the day, like. And so I feel like sometimes it's easy to be like, you know, so many things go wrong in my life, or like most things, and like that's just not true. Like it was, I was able to see like that's not true, you know. So that was a good perspective shift. Tidying and making my bed, it just made my space cleaner. It made me feel less like anxious and overwhelmed in my space. It made me happier to be in my space. Like it was nice to come home at the end of the day and not see mess everywhere, like whatever. I think we all know what it, like why making your bed is important, and why just like keeping your personal space tidy matters. Um okay, so 10 pages of a nonfiction book. I read the Bible. And it was honestly one of the best decisions that I made during this challenge. I read my Bible like every day, or at least almost every day before. I would say that I was not reading anywhere near 10 pages worth. And y'all know Bible font is dumb small, so like 10 pages of Bible is actually like 20 pages, 25 pages of Bible. Um, but this was a time in my life where I needed to be in my word. I needed to spend time with the Lord. And don't get me wrong, God knows there are days where I was like, I don't want to read this right now. I don't feel like it. Like, sorry, Lord, that's really dramatic. Um, but like the discipline of doing it, and just like how much I gained from hearing the word of God, reading the word of God. Oh, also for this challenge, like I love audiobooks. They said that audiobooks don't count. So it was like on days where I would wait till the last minute to read, it was so rough, because I was like, I would literally be like falling in and out of sleep and like trying to read, and like it was rough. But it was really life-changing to be in the Bible like that, and to spend that time with the Lord. And I noticed early on, like in the beginning, I would just read to read. I was like, I'm reading because I gotta check this off my thing. And then eventually it was like, if I have to read this anyways, like I need to use this as time with the Lord, and like really like seek him. And it became less about checking it off, but like just more about like, what does your word say? What do you have to say? And there were books of the Bible that I enjoy more than others, I will not lie. At the end of the challenge, I was reading First Kings, Second Kings, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, and there's some good stories in there. Story of Elijah's in there. Excellent. Love it. So good. But there's a lot of genealogy in First and Second Chronicles, and I was like, yo, seriously. Um, but the books that I were just so enjoyable, were so enjoyable to read, and like I was excited, and like just so much revelation. And also during this time I ended up like leaving my sorority, like just so many like the Lord was just able to speak to me so much during this time, because I was just so like focused on him and his word. And like even before the challenge started, I was just like, Lord, the only way I'll get through this is with you. Like, I know this is not like, I mean, doing a challenge is not like the biggest deal in the world, but like to me, this means a lot. And like, he just showed me that there's so much more to me than I ever gave myself credit for. Or shoot, gave him credit for. But yeah, so reading 10 pages of the Bible was just like amazing. Literally, the challenge finished Wednesday. Today is Sunday. And as of right now, the only books I have left are, and I say left, but like, so the four, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel, Ezekiel, I had read before the challenge started, like not long before, but 75 days like feels long. And like, I just, the way that I was focused and reading during 75 hard and like reading those 10 pages, I like absorbed so much more than when I was just like passively like reading before. So anyway, so I'm reading those four books again. But the ones that I haven't read and like, and let me not say like haven't read, because like I've read the Bible cover to cover like 2 or 3 times. So I've read it, but that's not the point. It's neither here nor there. But I mean just like what's left of me going through it right now. Those four books I'm gonna read again, and then Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers I'm gonna be finishing with. So like as you can see, like that's a lot of Bible. Like I got through a lot of it in only 75 days, which is crazy. And like that just also goes to show you like you have time to spend with the Lord. You have time. If this challenge showed me nothing else, we will make time for the things we have to make time for, and we will get them done no matter what. Like there were times where I would come home, it would be 10 o'clock, and I would have 5 things that were not checked off, and they were gonna get done before I slept. So we have time, and spend the time with the Lord, because it will change your life. It will change your life. It will change your life. Oh my gosh, God is so, oof, he is good. He is, my faith tenfold increase in the last 75 days. No cap. Like, I mean, just incredible. Okay, whew. So no alcohol was another one of the rules. I already wasn't drinking alcohol, and I already like last year I kind of dialed back a lot. And just progressively like more and more was drinking less and less. By New Year's I had already not drank, and I kind of was like, it was like I'm just not gonna drink, I don't know, for like January. I think that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Because I was like, well, there was a reason why I hadn't drank by the time the challenge started. But anyways, so I was doing dry January. There it is. Before this, I was already like laying off a lot. But for January, before I decided to do the challenge, I was like, I'm gonna do dry January. So I wasn't drinking. Challenge started the end of January. So I hadn't had a drink from January 1 until April 11th. No, April 10th, 11th. I always mix this up. It was the 10th. Oh my gosh, also the challenge ended the day I got my step 1 score, and like I thought the whole time it was gonna end the day after, but when I realized I miscounted and it actually ended the day of, I was just like, God is so funny, because like he just walked me through this entire challenge. He walked me through all of step like in a way that I cannot describe. Like I don't know how I passed it. Like me, Sydney, I know how. It was the Lord, but like just no words. And so like when I realized that it was all ending on the same day, I was just like, you are so funny and so good. So anyways, sorry, that's like my obsessed with Jesus smile. So I had a frozen margarita when I got my score back on the day that it ended, and it was like, woo. But anyways, yeah, I still don't really have a taste for alcohol, honestly. Like I don't really ever think I'll ever go back to like heavy drinking. I tried to drink wine the other day, and like after like sip 4, I literally was like, I'm tipsy and I'm going to bed. Like I can't really do it. And I don't mind. Like I never really loved it. It's very bad for your body. And so yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I do feel like there's times where like when I'm super stressed, I like will want to gravitate towards things that, you know, I found comfort in, but they were all worldly things that like gave me comfort in the moment but didn't actually ever fix my problems. And so there were a couple times where I was like, oh, I wish I could just drink right now, and like it wouldn't have fixed my issue. Prayer is what fixed it. Um, but it yeah, it's just not something that, and like if you drink, no problem. Like my family like big drinkers. Okay, so like I don't care. Do you? But yeah, just for me personally, like it's not life changing. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Don't really care for it, and that's fine. Um, yeah. So that was 75 hard. Um, those are all the rules. Lent also happened during this time, so I gave up something else. I gave up social media, which was fine. I needed to. Um, since that ended, I have been on TikTok, but very rarely, way less than I ever was before, which is crazy. I still don't have Instagram. I really don't like Instagram, and the problem is I'm following way too many people, and too many people are following me, and I just don't care to see what people are doing that aren't like my actual friends or family. So, and I'm too lazy to go and like fix. So it's gonna just stay deleted. Um, I go on Twitter just to follow the like specialty that I'm interested in and like the clubs and like see what events they have. But I literally go on it on my laptop. Um, I've never been a Facebook girl. Like except when it came out. So like I'll go on Facebook occasionally. Like my mom posted something yesterday and she was like, Cindy, people are saying really nice things. It's like, okay, I went on there for 5 minutes. Um, what else? I use YouTube, but I was using YouTube to study, um, like free resources, woo, during dedicated, but a lot of it, just like the videos that I was watching for funsies, I would not let myself. And the other thing that I gave up during Lent was cussing. I will say in the last week, it has been a free-for-all and I'm not proud of it. um, it's just like, sometimes when you hear other people like talking and they like just throw a swear word in there and you're like, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, again, like if you cuss, that's totally fine. But for me personally, like I would like to cuss a little less. Um, I just feel like sometimes there's other words that I can use to express myself and I just don't. And I'm like, just throw a swear word in there. I'm like, for what? Like I don't need to, um, I just don't need to speak like that. But yeah, 75 hard was definitely life changing. I don't think I'd ever do this again. Maybe a modified, like super modified version. Um, with one workout a day. Like, dog, I'd never done so much laundry in my life. Okay. Um, but yeah, I do think there's a lot to be gained from it. I do think people should do it just at least once. Like, it will change your life. And again, like for me, it wasn't about losing weight, gaining weight, like body modification, like any of that. Literally, like it was something like I felt like I didn't have discipline at all. And like it's obviously not true. Like to get where I am, to be in medical school, like all these things, like there has to be some discipline somewhere. Um, but just proving to myself that like I can do things that I don't want to do. I can do hard things. I can do um anything that I put my mind to. There's like time to get done the things that I think are important and that I want to accomplish. Like just like showing myself all these things I think was also really important before rotations, where it's like during this time it was also good because it was like I made my own schedule for dedicated. There was no class, like I just studied all day, like I had my schedule of things that I wanted to do. And so I did that, and then I had my challenge. And so like going into rotations where it's like obviously I have to be like reporting to the hospital or the clinic or wherever my site is, not really on my own schedule anymore, but just seeing how like even still like when I would go to the library for 8 hours, 10 hours, like there was still time to get in 2 workouts and reading 10 pages and like all these things. Um, and yeah, it was just cool to like see my like family cheer me on, and like I had like sticky notes on my mirror and I would like take one off each day, and like um yeah, my family was just like really proud of me for like doing this. They were also just like listening, what this is so random. um but like, oh, and my parents, they went on walks with me all the time. Well, my mom and my sister went with me like a couple times, but my stepdad Brent, my bestie for real, he walked with me every single day except 2 walks I did by myself. And like it was just such a great like bonding time and just like so sweet. And like even on a day where I came home and it was like we literally had to go on a walk at like 10:30 at night and he walked with me and like just I just love him. Like just it was great. And I really just appreciated like again like having that support. He's still going on walks, makes me so happy. Um and it was so incredible to like just have my friend doing this with me. Like I don't know if I would have finished it without her for real. Like, because I think on days where both of us are like not together at the same time, but just like on days where we were like, I don't want to do this, like having the other person to be like, I don't care, you have to get it done, like was really helpful. Like not that we were together doing every step together, but just like the check-ins and like that was helpful. There were days where we went on walks together and that was nice. And like sometimes we literally would not even speak to each other because we were both like mad that we were even out there. But yeah. I think it just put a lot of things into perspective for me. Um, it really showed me my priorities and things like what matters to me, what doesn't matter to me, what do I want to make time for. Um, and it just really grew my faith too. I don't know if that was a challenge per se, or if that was me just really, really being my word. But yeah, I would highly recommend it at least once. Because it was really hard. I will not say it wasn't hard. It was really, really hard. And I would say the first like 2 weeks were pretty hard. They were a little bit, they weren't terrible because it was like me and my like my best friend, we were here together, and so we were able to do like the workouts and the walks together to kind of like ease each other in. So those weeks were a little bit rough. The middle was fine. You get into a routine and you like know you have to get it done, and it's just like it is what it is. The last 2 weeks were really hard. So I went home a week before my test. So I was home that week. That was fine. After my test though, I had a week of like nothing. Um that one also wasn't too bad because it was just like I'm home. Fine. And I don't have to study now. Except the Anki. I was still doing Anki after the test and that was so annoying. So that wasn't bad, but I went on vacation with my parents. That was hard. The one good thing is though, like we went to like 3 different places in like a week, so like we were walking a lot because we wanted to see stuff. And then like, yeah, honestly, the walk was like the easiest part. Me and Brent found a way to walk all the time, but like other parts of it were really hard to get done. Like drinking water, oh my gosh, I was like gulping water on a plane at one point, like just like crazy. And then this last week, or it was only like, it was 3 days, let me not be dramatic, but like when I got back to Philly and I had like orientation and stuff, that was hard. But I don't know, it kind of feels like a fever, it kind of feels like a fever dream. I think the biggest fever dream part of it is the walks. Like when I think about like I went on a 45 to an hour walk every day, like even the last like a couple days ago I was out there, like that feels like not real. But it was, I was there. I feel like I'm dragging this out because I have no notes, no script, no nothing. But I would just encourage anyone who like just needs a jolt of, I don't know, just like a little bit, you just need to believe in yourself. You need to get back to it. You need to just get rid of some stuff that needs to get out of your life, like some drama, some mess, some people, some whatever. And you just need a jolt of just like a little bit of magic back in your life. I would do this challenge for sure. Because don't be like those people honking at people outside on a 1-lane road where you know the person in front of you, they're not moving, they probably can't go anywhere. Anyways, yeah, do 75 hard at least once, twice. It won't be me, but maybe it'll be you. And yeah, I feel like I've said the same thing like 10 times now, so I think I'm gonna go. It's also like my last day of like pure freedom, so I should go outside today. I don't feel like being like outside in the city today, but I should get some sun because I will be in the office reporting for duty tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn. So yeah. Ending videos is so late because I never know if I'm done talking. I think I'm done talking. Okay, I'm gonna go outside. Okay, bye guys.